Welcome to the Temple of Flame. On today, Faithful Acolytes, we take a look at this. Today's product comes courtesy of Roger Damps of Burn Your Tongue, the favorite emporium for all things delectably hot, with actual real live physical locations along the Wasatch Front in Utah. If you're like me, when you're looking for a sauce slinger, you want selection. And with well over 800 varieties, you're sure to find it at Burn Your Tongue. You can also check out Burn Your Tongue on Facebook and Instagram, as well as Burn Your Tongue online. Roger is one of the true aces in the chili head world, and we raise our flame in salute. Now, let us return to the ceremony. And what this is, adorned with this delightful bit of art, it is Frye Provisions hot sauce, handcrafted in Utah, in Heber City, Utah, which is just outside of Park City, Utah, made by a chef. This is, I love this art. We've got peppers on here. Maybe a couple different kinds of pods, possibly. This is wild. I really like this. I love the art sensibility here on the label. Very nice space here for level checking. This is a 9-ounce bottle. Plastic is slightly too stiff in my view, but it's not completely out of the realm of what's reasonable, I would say. The usual stuff here. And, oh, that's the ingredients. Let's see. Let's look at this. Some sweet southern heat from the Great Rocky Mountains. Sweet and spicy sauce from scratch. And there it is. Okay, so this was made by a chef. I think there may be some pairings on the website. We'll get into that here in a minute. So we got Fresnos, we've got orange juice, vinegar, dates, raisins, garlic, lime juice, achiote paste, which is those things that you see right there, habanero peppers, and salt. So the habanero is very clearly just there for heat. So when we have stuff like dates and raisins, those are usually very, very sweet, very hyper sweet ingredients to have. And then we've got orange juice. So, and then achiote paste, which is it's a bit of smokiness to it. I don't even know where you would quantify this sauce. Whenever I see raisins, because A1 has ruined me, A1 steak sauce, I automatically think steak sauce. If I see raisins in a sauce, I'm going, oh, steak sauce. Dates don't go in that though, neither does achiote paste. And then the citrus, the lime juice and the orange juice just kind of moves entirely away from that. What I feel like they tried to go for here is an everyday sauce. And I talk about this a little bit in the written review. Check that out in the link in the description down below if you're interested. But here's a way to sort of force a restrictor cap, right? Just have this little sort of twist on thing. Oh man, I'm spilling. What the hell? Annoying. All right, so let's take a look at the hue. We'll come back to that point here in a minute. I'll taste the sauce first, but see, there is a lot of bits of spice and whatnot in this.
a lot of, looks like reflection as well. There's some reflection in every bottle. It's a very glossy sauce, like most sauces are. It is this sort of brownish, red-orange. I think it's a very good-looking sauce. I really, really like how this sauce looks. It is something that requires a bit of agitation, but I mean, you can see all the little bits of graininess in there. So very, very nice coloration on this. Let's get into the flavor and then we'll talk about everyday sauces. So immediately you get the sort of sweetness from the dates and raisins, sort of paired off with the citrus. And it's got the very outstanding Fresno pepper flavor to it. And then there's a back current of habanero. The achiote definitely, I think, sort of melds a little bit with. So you kind of have the citrus playing off the vinegar, playing off the sweetness of the dates and the raisins, playing off the little bit of smokiness of the achiote. Calling it a paste here, but there's definitely a strong undercurrent of Fresnos here as well, and then there's just some back end habanero. Very extremely well done sauce. This is very clearly whoever came up with this. It takes quite a bit of skill to pull this off, to get all those flavors to sort of meld and mesh in the way that they do. With everyday sauces, which is where I think this is, there's two approaches that you can do. You could either make a sauce that is so delicious that even if it doesn't necessarily pair with everything, you don't mind because you're eating more of a delicious sauce. Or you can go with the sauce that is nondescript. Like, everyday sauces have to be good enough that you can use them on a variety of stuff. So the flavor is kind of a given. They do have to have a quality of taste or you're not going to want to eat the sauce, and then it ruins the idea. But to make it nondescript and not angled at anything enough that you can wind up putting it on a wide variety of things, it's not pigeonholed into any one type of cuisine. It's not pigeonholed into Italian or stuff that has a very rich context to it, or Mexican style food, or Asian food. You can just kind of use it universally. I think they try to do actually a little bit of both with this. I think it's something by itself is quite good. And I paired it with a lot. So this is a 9-ounce bottle. You can see I played around with this a lot, trying to find where it goes the best. I think it works okay-ish on Mexican style food. It's a very flexible sauce in that you can put it on a wide variety of things. A lot of those things I would prefer to have a different sauce, because you do get a cancellation effect with certain types of food. That's kind of one of the drawbacks of a sort of a nondescript flavor profile, is that if it's not a fairly strong flavor profile, and this one has a lot of subtlety going on, if it's not forceful, you'll start to lose elements of it. And this one, where it's as intricately designed and balanced as it is, when you start losing some of that, then you might get the sauce reading more as sweet than you might want with certain types of food. So a lot of fun playing with this. So this is it's a sauce I put off for a while. I've been meaning to do this for all of 2024, and you can see it is the last hot sauce video I'm doing for this year. But I am sure glad I got to it, because I really, really like this sauce a lot. It could be hotter. I guess if I have a slight complaint, it's that it could be hotter. But this one, I can't really complain about the flavor, because it is so meticulously almost designed. It is, when there's, this is one of those sauces that, and I'm happy when I come across it, but I come across it fairly rarely, It's a sauce that I don't know how to. I don't know how you would ever make this better. You could. I think it could stand to get a little bit more heat, and I think you probably could fine tune it a little bit there. And for me personally, I would like a touch more smokiness. But honestly, that is really, really picking at fine hairs with this. What they set out to do, I think they probably came really close to achieving. But, you know, if they want to do a vanity run where it's slightly smokier and it's somewhat hotter, like for instance, throw the habaneros out and maybe put in ghosties or smoked ghosties even, and you kind of achieve both at once. And I personally find ghost pepper to be a better flavor pepper than habanero. So a little thought, if you know, if they want to do a vanity version. Not a lot of clamor for that, I don't think, but you know, nothing ventured and so on. All right, so as you can see, we're gonna go with, I haven't had these on here for a while. It's been a while since I've had the Maruchan Yakisoba chicken. And this is, these noodles have been on before, and they're one of the reasons I like to get these is a couple things. The first one is the packaging. I like that they do this, so I don't have to sort through the stuff myself. I like that it comes in its own tray, so I don't have to necessarily, I mean, I have to do a fork, but I won't have to dirty other dishes. And it's not good by itself. So most ramens, let's be honest here, are not. That's one of the best uses for hot sauce. A lot of us ate a lot of hot sauce batching it up in the early days. But this one is, it's not at all interesting by itself, but it is a very, very excellent base to put hot sauces in and try it in that context. So that's what we're going to be doing. And we'll just, so this is not a very hot sauce, so we can use a lot of it. So we made the whole brick basically, actually, you know what, that's fine. Let's just rock with that. So, and this one cooks very, very consistency. I do like the texture of these noodles a lot. So, as usual, goes in the microwave for 4 minutes, sits for 5, and then we come back and see just what we got going on. Should I do one of those YouTuber things where I go, okay, and we're back. You can see we're all cooked up here. See, we've got a little steam going on here. Hopefully you can see that. Just a really nice heft, a really nice chew to these noodles. The flavor is interesting. Because it doesn't, there's not a lot of masking going on, but it is diluting this somewhat. So you might get a little bit of some of the spices, the achiote, here and there, or you might get a little bit of sweetness. Citrus and the vinegar really don't come out to play too much. It is super nice in here. This is the one application though where I kind of wish the flavor was a bit more forceful. Usually with most sauces I don't have to cover the brick. But this one is a little, like I said, it's a lot more subtle. Yeah, super nice. But like I said, this is one where I could stand more heat. This I gave a 1, but it really is only barely a 1. This is very clearly not meant to be a scorcher. You know, and that's a... I think it's one of the big questions surrounding hot sauce, right? Where it's sort of in a condiment world, you say ketchup, everybody knows what you mean by ketchup. You say mustard, everybody knows what you mean by mustard. You say mayo, you say aioli. Any of those things, you know, even something like barbecue sauce, you generally know what somebody means with that. And you say hot sauce, and there's this huge gamut. And the flavor in particular of a lot of sauces are very dissimilar from each other, even though they're all hot sauces. Which is not the case with any of those other condiments I mentioned. Even mustard, I mean, certainly some mustards or some mayos are better than another. But it's not like you can have it and not understand immediately, you know. And I guess that's true to a degree with hot sauce too. It's just a much wider spectrum. You know, the first obvious question is, you know, with hot sauces is how hot is it? It isn't necessarily what's the flavor profile. And I think it, you know, for most hot sauces, it probably should be. Most hot sauces are not scorching, burning affairs. And if you look on the blog, there are hundreds of them, actually, as well in the hot sauces playlist where this one lives. Hundreds of them. Very few get to where I would call them chili head only type hot sauces, and most of those you can't get at retail. So I think that is something that I guess I would hope that people would start considering. With hot sauce a little bit more, because condiments are generally meant to add, you know, impart a certain flavor dynamic to what you're putting it on. And if you don't think about pairing, if your only concern is how hot something is, then I mean, you may need to consider addressing, you know, your approach to that condiment type. All right, so as far as this goes, this particular sauce, this is a dynamite. This is an excellent sauce. I know you can get it for sure at any of the Burn Your Tongue locations, which is where I got this particular bottle. Almost every sauce maker is selling stuff online. I imagine these guys probably are as well. I don't actually know that. I understand the guy is a chef. I don't know what restaurant he's cooking at. It'd be kind of interesting to actually go to it at some point. If people are practicing professionals, I'm as a foodie, I'm always kind of interested in seeing what they're dishing out. I mean, I don't know if it's a sort of a private, he's a private chef or somebody or not, but it does appear that he is a practicing professional chef. So if that was possible to sample some of those, I would be pretty interested in doing that. But yeah, like I said, this one, I think when you talk about gourmet sauces and really, really high-end foodie type stuff, it often won't apply to hot sauces, just being honest. This one it does, and this one actually might be The most gourmet hot sauce I think I've ever had. It is, like I said, this is quite exquisite. I really, really admire what they've done here. For me, I like other sauces more than this on specific foods, but I do, I don't necessarily, it's been a long time since I've used the same sauce. Like if I'm eating, let's just say I'm happy to have fish sticks, right? Or fish patties or something like that. It has been a really long time since I've only had one sauce. Usually I'll have a multitude of them. And this one works well in there as well. It is, like I said, flexible enough that I think I don't know if there is a food that I haven't found anything that this hasn't gone with, actually. This has gone with everything I've tried it on, at least to an extent. Like I said, there are things that I might like better on specific food types, but this generally does go quite nicely with almost everything. Everything I've tried it on, but I haven't tried it on every single thing that exists, obviously. But so in terms of flexibility, it's very, very flexible. Heat is very, very minimal. Obviously, like I said, they're not planning on that. It's a very smooth sauce, a very refined sauce. And this is, if you're interested in the more foodie side of things like I am, this is an absolute dynamo that you should look at. If you're looking more just for heat than anything else, you can, probably steer around it unless you want your mind open. This, I think, sort of expands the possibilities of what a hot sauce can be, and I'm always there for sauces like that. And we'll just leave it there. This is you get quite a lot in here. This is a pretty excellent value. I will say that as well. So, very, very nice entry. I kind of wish I would have got to this sooner. I don't know. It's not sweet enough for me to have tried it as a grilled sauce over the summer, but these larger bottles will sometimes take. This one actually isn't. Usually they'll take a while for me to get through, which I guess is really, like, I've already gone through a full glass 5 fluid ounce sauce bottle already. And this one's 9, so I've still got some to go. So I think that really speaks volumes to the deliciousness of the sauce, and definitely, I think it is well worth looking into for sure. And we'll just leave it there. So that was the Frye Provisions hot sauce. Now go forth in peace to serve the flame.